I hear you just about every day on 37. That's right, I hear you on both, sure do. But anyway, you guys are sounding great down here in the south tonight. Old conditions real good. But, hey, I ain't gonna get in the middle of y'all. Just wanted to wave my hand. 73 to y'all.
73 is all the best, my friend.
You're pretty good over here tonight, pipeline 621, Mr. Paranoid 269 over here in Walterboro.
Hey, 269 Walterboro, got a copy on you?
Yeah, roger, roger that pipeline. No, I hear you over here pretty good tonight on the coast. Nice to hear you tonight, pipeline for sure.
Yeah, you coming in pretty decent here as well. I don't even have the preamp on.
Yeah, roger, roger. Oh, that's good. That's a good thing then, for sure. I got my preamp on though, but I do hear you tonight.
USL, I got a 605 for a single on you.
Yeah, roger that. Well, with my preamp on, I got you at an S5 as well, so that's a pretty good signal from way out there in the Rumson Point area.
Hey, you fellas go somewhere else with that sideband. Go get your sideband channel.
No.
QRT on the side, open.
Roger, roger that. Exactly. Same here. QRT on the side and listening for the radio man.
Hey, you fellas go sideband somewhere. This ain't no sideband channel.
Well, report us to the FCC. Now buzz off.
Oh, he's going to have a rough night with us.
Hello, RK on YouTube from North Maine. How you doing? Yeah, go ahead for Radio Man. Yeah, go ahead for Radio Man.
Yeah, this is Robert down in York County, Sanford. We're just checking in and say hello. Waiting for minutes to start.
Yeah, hey Robin Hood. Yeah, good to hear you this evening.
Okay, then. Excellent work.
Hey Robin Hood, you got a few people calling back to you. Do you copy?
What's that, Radio Man?
You had Cobra and Wales calling back to you, and Paranoid over in
Oh, roger that. No, I'm hearing them guys. I'm hearing this lower band. I don't hear quite as well as I do on the upper one, but that's okay. I do apologize for those guys that are not responding, but I haven't. Great evening. Where's Robin Hood?
Robin Hood is in Sanford. Sanford.
Oh, close to Rochester. Good. He's hammering me anyway.
What's going on, everyone on TikTok? Hopefully you're hearing the radio okay. Trying something different tonight. If it doesn't work, I'll shut it down. Brewery. I'll have to stop out there someday with my wife. Never been there before.
Radio Man.
Yeah, go ahead for Radio Man.
You still planning on coming this way on Saturday?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay, just text me or call me.
Like a better time for you?
After 10.
Oh, that won't be a problem.
And we have a special guest here in Portland tonight.
Oh my God. All right, well, who's the...
Be on in Portland. I don't know if he can hear you or not, but he's going to try.
You're fine.
Good evening, Moose. All right. Well, let's get Maine Sidebanders started here. We're already pissing them off down in Florida. So we're off to a roaring start tonight. Maine Sidebanders, we meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. or anything like that. Everyone's welcome to join and say hello. We're just an informal roll call. We talk about whatever. Trying to think. That's about it. We do roll call by county. So as promised, I'm going to start up in the north, and we're hoping maybe some of you will stick around after roll call, because we're going to have you guys, if you guys got any stories of some CB radio. So anyways, let's get things rolling here. And I heard Mr. Moose up there up in Somerset County. So let's start out with Somerset County. How about it? All right, we got Mr. Moose up there in Somerset County, and we got anyone else in Somerset County? Just gonna keep rolling right along here. How about Waldo and Knox County? Waldo and Knox County. All right, we got Mr. Paranoid. Mr. Paranoid, how you doing this evening?
Whatever.
Yeah, well, it's only gonna get worse for him, so he's just gonna have to keep keying up there. All right. Who else? Let's see. Where are we? All right. Nothing heard. We're going to move on. How about Lincoln County? Lincoln County for Maine Sidebanders. Oh, man.
I have a car.
Oh, someone posted a picture of a Jeep with a license plate said Mike Hunt.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yes. That's an old vehicle, Roger. Whole thing.
Oh, that old thing. All right. Holy shit, I got BB in Carthage. I hear you direct, BB. Do you copy me? You're making the trip. Not a lot of signal, but I hear you.
I can hear you down here in Birthday, BB. I can hear you down here in Birthday. I think that was Moose, right? BB 505. 505 again, right?
10-4. You sound 8 and great right now.
Roger that. Yeah, you ran across the street to the Big Apple.
No. I'm River Road.
Okay, I see an Antron looking thing across the street for Canton there.
That's right there, Southern Sammy. We're on 11 meter.
Moose says hello. Yeah, you're planted up here in Carthage there.
Wow, you're hearing us in Northern Cali. That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Oh, okay. I record like 96 miles. I heard somebody. I'm local.
I talked to the day you were, I think 107 miles.
Yeah, forecast. Well, I'm going to be on the side now.
All right, we're going to move on here, letting everyone up north say hello to each other. How about Kennebec County? Kennebec County for Maine Sidebanders. Who we got Kennebec County? All right, we got you, Sparkplug. Whoops. Oh, man. Yeah, Sparkplug, South Gardner. Welcome. All right.
7 Chelsea waving.
Hey, 7 in Chelsea. Good evening. That's a negative. All right, let's move on to Franklin and Oxford's counties. How about Franklin and Oxford County for Maine Sidebanders?
505 Maine, checking in.
Okay, I'll have to update my record here. I'm using a spreadsheet. All right, I'll update that later. Sorry about that. All right, who else we got? All right, we got you, Pipeline. We're hearing you direct. Conditions seem to be pretty good for local. Jesus Christ, hearing BB, I'm hearing you. So, Pipeline, thank you. Who else we got? Franklin and Oxford counties. Franklin and Oxford County. Oh, we got Fix It. He's actually got a radio. We can hear him tonight, and we can understand him. All right, Fix It. How about it? Franklin and Oxford County before we move on. Let's see. Let's try that again. I heard 2 people and I couldn't figure out who it was.
Well, I'll go then.
All right, we got Skywalker in Lisbon. There was another station under Skywalker. Go ahead and try it.
207.
And we got you 207 tonight. Welcome 207 and mine it. All right. Anyone else? Hey, we're cranking right through them here. Swiper and Auburn. Anyone else? Androscoggin County for Maine Sidebanders. Anyone else for Maine Sidebanders? Androscoggin County.
327.
Okay, 327 from Raymond. How you doing tonight there, 327?
I'm okay.
All right, sounds good. You get enough?
I got enough sleep. I'm okay.
All right. All right, your grandfather said you got the stickers and stuff that I sent over to him.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
No problem. If you need more, let me know. We can send some more over to you. All right, Androscoggin County for Maine Sidebanders before I move on. What county? Hey, Clearwater and Topsom. Glad you made it, Clearwater. Who else we got for Saginaw County?
I got Steel Toe.
On run.
Are you on your beam radio, man?
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on there. He might be having technical difficulties there.
All right, we got Steel Toe in Bodenham, and to answer Screwdriver's question, I am not on the beam. I am on the normal antenna. I should be doing. Let's see here. Hello, yeah, I should be doing normal power. All right, we'll do another call for Saginaw County. How about it, Saginaw County? All right, nothing heard. How about Cumberland County for Maine Sidebanders? Cumberland County, we're getting down towards the end of roll call here before we open it up. Cumberland County. A whole pile of you in there. We got Lugnut, I heard. I heard Portland. I heard Greg in Portland. Go ahead.
4107, the Maine, Elizabeth.
Hey, Jim, we got you that time, and I did hear you, 4107. Just stand by. Jim's been on a bit of a hiatus with us here for a bit, so we're glad to hear you, Jim, down there in Portland. Okay, just curious before I move.
I got from here at Cobra. He's still strong. And you only bring the other one's just
All right, well, that's good. There's 4107, high pressure down in Cape Elizabeth. Go ahead. I think I heard you in there. Go ahead, high pressure.
Roger there, radio man. Yeah, I just jumped in. I didn't hear anybody else, but nice to hear that Jim's online with us too there. Go ahead.
Were you hearing them at all, high pressure?
No, I'm not hearing Jim, sadly.
Okay, very good. We'll keep moving here with the roll call. Anyone else for Cumberland County? Cumberland County, Maine Sidebanders.
323 in Raymond. Gotcha.
323 in Raymond. Well, glad to hear you and your grandson tonight. Well, welcome, 323. Anyone else for Cumberland County?
Yeah, you got Maniac in here.
Anders.
Hey, you got Taz over in Pownell.
All right, we got Taz and Pownell. All right, Taz. Good evening. Anyone else for Maine Sidebanders, Cumberland County?
But I was just kind of curious here on the beam, because I know when the Skywalker teed up, it sounded like he was mobile at 207, crushed him over here, and you said between the two. Anyway, I'm sure you're done typing, so yeah, we're that quiet.
Don't know. All right, who else we got for Cumberland County? All right, no one else. Let's grab, we'll grab York County, New Hampshire. How about it? York County or state of New Hampshire? Any stations in York County? All right, we got Robin Hood and Sanford. Anyone else? York County or state of New Hampshire? York County or state of New Hampshire? All right, I'm not hearing anyone else. We'll do one more here. Any last calls? Last calls for Maine Sidebanders. Last calls.
Last call, 239.
239.
And where I caught you on the live there and messaged you. I'm just running the 4 bill and a ground plane.
Okay, I remember you. Yeah, well, you made it through. You'll probably hear yourself on the delay a little bit. So, yeah. All right. Another call. Last call. Maine Sidebanders before we open it up to the story time here. 4384. Is that what I heard?
384 Sebago, correct.
Oh, okay. 384 Sebago. All right, we got you. I don't know if you're relatively new or not, but why don't you just give us a quick rundown? You're over in Sebago, Lake Sebago, town of Sebago. Tell us about your station real quick. Welcome.
Halfway up Douglas Mountain. Just an old man in the woods.
The woods, 384, halfway up the mountain there in Sebago. This is Radio Man in New Gloucester. Got a good copy on you. We just do a little roll call here, and then we open it up and we talk and do whatever. One more last call for anyone, anywhere.
The only thing that's going to make that better is old man in the woods with guns.
You guys are going to stick around here for after roll call. He wanted to hear CB radio calamities and disasters, letting the smoke out of the radio, ripping the antenna, off the car, something. So hopefully if you guys got some stories here, anyways, I got first on roll call here is Moose. Moose, are you still in there? You got any CB radio disasters? Okay. Nothing yet. Okay. All right. Well, that's good enough. What about you, Paranoid? You got any CB radio disasters you'd like to share? Letting the smoke out, leaving the radio on the roof of the car and driving away?
Well, I haven't done those necessarily like that, no, but I have had my antenna blow over that time, so, instead of a ground pointing antenna, what have you, that type of stuff. I've had a few things happen, of course, like anybody, I guess, yeah.
All right. Well, how about, all right, Mike Hunt, Booth Bay Harbor. You got any disasters you'd like to share with us that people might find entertaining?
other than overdriving kickers and blowing up kickers? Not really. I mean, you know, the typical, you know, cost me money to learn type deal.
All right. Well, very good. I don't know. Just curious. What about BB? BB over there at Carthage. You got a copy on radio, man? You got any disasters? Radios destroyed, amps destroyed?
Wire dipole that was 3 feet off the ground. It fell over, and one was my Wilson on my truck. Tunnel cover blew up. I have luckily, in my tenure out here, have never had an antenna come down. I know I've seen a lot of antennas come down. I did have an antenna bend during the ice storm. I have broken many base antennas up to my camp, and people out there remember this, but my best ones inside, you know, I've smoked a couple of radios, a couple of amps, nothing crazy, but I've had really bad luck with power supplies, and I have caught power supplies on fire more than one time while talking. And man, I hope I can find this video, but probably about, a year and a half ago, talking on sideband, was at the bathroom, and as I did, there's smoke billowing out of the bathroom. Door was shut, so I didn't smell it at first. Smoke billowing out, shut it off. I see flames in there. It puts itself out, no big deal. And I come back in here, and I keep the radio. I'm like, oh yeah, my wife is going to be pissed because that's going to stink up the house. As I'm saying that, my wife is walking down the stairs. I can hear her. So now all of this is on live, and I also key up the radio so everybody can hear this. And my wife comes down the stairs, and as I'm keyed up, goes on, I don't remember the exact words, but it was, what the fuck are you doing? The upstairs is full of smoke. We're all going to die. And, you know, and that went on, and it was a great live. So, you know, I just wanted to share my stories, and like I said, put a little pizzazz in these stories. I know we've
Help
all
a
had
trucker
calamities
out.
that we don't want to admit.
Stock with
You
Deal
know,
Wilson.
teeing up and
What to
snoring on the
buy?
mic and falling asleep on it at your desk, you know. Let's hear some good stories. On it.
Hey, Skywalker, real quick. Skywalker, what are you doing tonight, Skywalker? Yeah, your signal's way down. I don't know. I don't hear Hawkeye on here tonight, but if anyone else can confirm, your signal's way down from what it usually is.
Not even hearing him. You should be blowing me away over here, and I would say he has a low signal.
Oh, like I said, 207, demolish them. I can tell you're keying up, but not great. Let's see if that makes it different.
Yeah, I turned that off. My RF power is wide open.
All right, for shits and giggles, turn it back on, right?
Oh, I just did the question you were asking me.
Okay, you're back to normal now. That was just weird, okay.
Much better.
Oh, that's why.
I had coaxial now.
Holy mackerel. All right. So I'm guessing BB, he's checked out. Him and Pipeline, they're locked in hot and heavy conversation here. You guys want to hear about my CB radio disaster? Oh, wait a second. Before it gets too late, let me just jump over to 327 before he has to go. Now, I know you just...
Knock on wood. I don't, yeah.
All right. Well, and make sure you don't go sticking those stickers on anything. Your parents, you're going to get in trouble with your parents. I don't want to hear any reports you stuck it on the door of your parents' car or something. I thought about that after I sent those stickers. I said, oh, I hope he doesn't get...
Water bottle and two on a shirt, so I I've been pretty good with it.
All right, very good. You guys want to hear? I got a CB radio story, or I was gonna grab Sparkplug. Well, why don't we grab Spark? Anything you want to share?
Just back in the day.
Yeah, boys, does Pipeline ever come up for air? Every time I'm key, he's talking.
Yo,
Gardner, you might not hear everybody. How about 7 over in Chelsea? 7 in Chelsea. You got any disasters you'd like to share? All right. Hey, if one of you guys hears Pipeline, let's just key down.
None of us are proud of our weakest moment, but that's the best part is sharing those with people to let them know that it happens to all of us.
So we've all I could guarantee we like 7 just said, putting screwdrivers or spark plug, letting the smoke out of things. I don't want to talk about. So this goes back to I was probably about 13 years old, and I finally convinced my dad to let me put a mobile in his truck, and he was like, all right, you can put one in the truck. So I was like, all right. And he said, make sure you put it so it goes on and off with the key so you don't kill the battery. I said, yeah, no problem, Dad. So I was like 13. I went outside. I took the keys to the truck. I put the radio in. And, of course, I got it all installed. And I was talking with my friend. And it was winter time, so I make sure I went on off with the key. And I wanted a little bit of heat while I was working. So my mom called me inside for dinner. And I'm eating dinner, and I'm telling my parents about the radio, and I'm all proud. The hell, it sounds like there was a car accident or from the back of the house. So we all get up and look. We're like, I don't see anything. And then my mom goes, where's the truck? And I was like, oh, shit, my ass is grass. And we couldn't find the truck. Well, we had a daylight basement, and the kitchen was above the entrance to the day point. It just started rolling and crashed into the corner of the basement of the house. And, needless to say, Dad wasn't too happy with me. Fortunately, it was back when trucks had steel bumpers, and really didn't do any damage to the house or the truck. It cleaned the clothesline out. I'm thinking the clothesline might...
That's a pretty good one.
oh my God.
Question, were you still allowed?
He said I could still have a radio with the truck out. We're like, well, that's weird. It sounded like there was a car. Nothing seems out of place. In trouble for a little bit. It was one of those things where Dad didn't really say anything, which made it worse. When Dad doesn't say anything at all, you're like, just say something. Get him to reverse it back up the hill.
Hawkeye, checking in.
Hey, Hawkeye, how you doing? Glad to have you there. Boy, we could have used you a minute ago. We had to get Skywalker straightened out here.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Yeah, he was trying to use his antenna switch as an antenna.
Oh, that's awesome.
You say trying, but I could hear him. You did talk to him, so he actually did.
Out of his hand.
Yeah, that's right, Swiper.
He was trying to come up with a story live for us to all.
Skywalker said, I don't have a calamity, so let me just make one up on the spot. Let's see if I can shoot fireballs out of my antenna switch. You'll be able to hear me. Pipeline's on. Are you guys, all I hear is Pipeline when I let up. TB505, can you hear me? Hey, Pipeline, take it to another channel. Key, I hear him talk.
Pipeline.
Well, I'll try it again later.
Well, I won't even bother asking Pipeline. He won't even hear me. Fix it. Fix it. If you can hear me, what is your CB radio calamity?
Oh, I got too many. My battery's not strong enough. Oh, you gotta have one that doesn't even have to be your best one. You gotta have one that sticks out in your mind that gives you a chuckle now.
Me? Well, I did have a couple of...
Ruin the radio. That's about the best I can think of right away.
Yeah, we've all been there many times. What was that? I think Paranoid, you might have keyed up in there. What was yours?
Like this, because there's only one power hookup and one antenna hookup. You put them both on the same radio, and it makes it better.
Hooking up over there. Everything was all right. I put it back. I put it back.
No, it's fine there.
Of course, I fired
That's
it off, because
fine.
it shot off like this.
Hold up a second. Hold up there, Lugnut.
I was playing with a analyzer. No
Thank you,
MFJ
Pipeline.
analyzer. Had a bunch of coaxes, couldn't figure out what the hell, which coax went where, you know? Got lost along the way, they're all black and have connectors on them. So I was pinging it, found the first line, found the second line, and then all of a sudden I pinged the third line, and unfortunately that was the wrong line. It brought up a remote transmitter inside the house, and got out of it, and I threw it on the ground and stomped.
Holy cow. You
So for anybody who doesn't know, hooking an electrolytic capacitor fun. Hook into a power supply, let them slowly charge up while we're in class. But, you know, some of those electrolytics can be pretty nasty. I've seen them put a hole in fucking cement block, so it's brutal.
I got a story.
All right, Portland Greg, go ahead with your story.
A lot of people get up at once. All right. So what that? Something to strive for. I like it. I'm going to have to try to catch something on fire in my hands next. So, Mr. Greg, let's hear your story now.
All right, just take you back. This is 1968. I just graduated from high school when I was 18, and I had turned 19, and I was working the shipyard. So every night when I got out of work, I would get on the CB on the way home, and there was this young lady named Natalie. And Natalie and I used to talk out the back door, and we sat in the car on the next road over, and you know, did what a young couple will do. And Facebook.
Hello from Massachusetts there, Joe Alston.
I looked at her profile, and it gave her birthday. She was 13.
Whoa, no Diddy? Didn't Poison write a song along that lines?
A lot of people have.
My question is, do you feel guilty now?
Why don't you tell them about Candy?
Yeah, they wrote a song about Greg.
They're on Facebook now.
And we all have a good laugh about it. Hardy har har har.
Too.
I was wondering how you were going to tie that story into a CB, but there it is.
Oh, we used to meet on CB, on Channel 18 after I get out of work.
Oh, yeah, that was the Christian mingle back then.
Repair technician, and we had a Variac, and we used to blow up, the little capacitors that we would get from out of TVs and stuff. And he's like, that was pretty dangerous. Blow up within feet of us. That wasn't too smart.
Hey, Radio Man.
Yes, go ahead for Radio Man.
Radio incidences.
Yeah, go ahead there, Robin Hood. We had a guy from Northern California come in.
Hooked it up here in the radio room, and it was running great for about a week. I don't know how many times you've heard 4 MOSFET transistors go in line in order. But it makes a hell of a racket, and my goodness, the smell of smoke, that smell you never get out of your house. It just doesn't. And I'm sure Screwdriver can attest to that. So I said, well, all right, now what am I going to do? So I set it up for bone crush picks, put it in my truck, and then I'll have one in the house. So I go to that. I send that up to him. I order a new one. They get it to me in about a week and a half and put it in my truck. I'm talking on the one at the house, and the same exact thing happens. All four of the MOSFET transistors in the amp pop up in smoke, let the fairy pixie dust out. And so here I am, 2 of them laid in. We both know what the cost of those were new. They don't make them anymore, thank goodness, because they did have a design flaw. So anyways, I still have both of them underneath the bench here, acting as downgraded 2950s.
Yeah, copy that, Robin Hood. I flipped over to the quad to hear you a little bit better, and that definitely helped bring the signal up. Yeah, that can get expensive, popping RF transistors, depending on what they are, for sure. Is there anyone else in there who wanted to go with a story here?
I'll tell you a few stories if you want to hear.
Yeah, go ahead, Swiper. I'm also on TikTok. We're getting people from Texas. They're listening to.
A lot of amps that I've let the smoke out of, and early days it was a 2-pill. So I'm not going to go into all the amps that I let the smoke out of because there's been many. A 12-pill that we had, screwdriver had 200, 300 amp power supply, and you blow it up, and it tends to be expensive. But the real story that I really want to tell is I had this 100 amp power supply switcher, and it was before those were easily available. This was a while ago. This is actually a medical equipment that this switcher came from. And I had used it for years and years and years and beat on it. It was just durable, but it was filthy. Screwdrivers, and we're hosing it down and cleaning it all up, and air hosed it, dried it up, what we thought was dried up. We turned the thing on, and pow! Apparently one of those caps had one of the big caps in it, had a crack in it, and
I told you I'm bad luck with power supplies.
Yeah, the most devastating to me would do it.
All right, Kevin, I'll call you in here. What's your handle, Kevin?
I've been able to fix them all. You have to buy a transistor or some resistors, or I've let the smoke out of a lot of resistors on the power selector. Those things, if you're running it on low or something and overdrive.
Termite? Hold on, Kevin. I'll call you. I'm just waiting for Swiper to finish.
Burn that whole section up.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we got someone that wants to check in here from Texas real quick. Hey, Termite. Termite in Texas. Come on into Maine Sidebanders. Termite's been listening to us on the radio.
Yeah, radio man. Got you loud and clear down here in Texas, down here south of Dallas. Coming in nice and clear, Bogey boys are.
All right, Termite.
Fresh out.
I don't believe that. If you've been doing this hobby long enough, you've blown up something, something had to have happened. We got Lugnut here. He sent probably a few thousand.
I got one for you when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm just an old truck driver sitting down here in a Peterbilt down here south of Dallas, waiting to load them damn cows in the morning.
Over in Lisbon Falls has a disaster he'd like to share. Go ahead, Hawkeye.
Okay, evening, but I'll tell it to you anyways. So this was a buddy of mine, lived over in Topsom probably 20 years ago, and he in his shed out in the backyard. And this must need to be hooked up. You just dropped whatever you were doing, whatever time of day or night it was, and you went and hooked that amp up. So I go flying over there.
Yeah, Termite or Kevin. That sounded good. No problem.
I grabbed the amp.
I'm in Maine,
opened up his
town
truck
called
doors,
New
and I grabbed
Gloucester.
the amp, and I was getting down into the passenger side floorboards to hook it up, and I set the amp down on the floorboards, and all of a sudden there was a big flash of lights, a big spark ball. And he looked at me, and he hadn't unhooked the battery
terminals, so there were live wires laying there on the floorboard, in a flash, and we just looked at each other like son of a bitch. Didn't even hook the coax up, just lit, and she was smoked.
Oh man, you had to run it back to Rocket's house.
Run it back to Rockets. He was not impressed.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Oh, and our 3-car convoy, yeah, well, causing hate and discontent.
Oh, let's see. Just looking here. Clearwater. You in there, Clearwater? You got anything you want to share? Man, I figured Clearwater, I figured you had some good ones.
I got a 447. The guys are telling me that it's pretty loud. So, try it. Well, he liked mine, so he bought one. When he got it home, it wasn't as loud as mine. You want to finish that story, Hawkeye?
Oh, I cannot confirm or deny that I was poking around underneath the hood of that magical 447 that you own, but just because I ordered some very large capacitors doesn't mean nothing, Clearwater.
For those of you who don't were driving to work, I laughed my ass off this morning because Screwdriver runs a 447 in his mobile, and Hawkeye was highly suspicious of Screwdriver's setup, and Screwdriver was giving his rundown, and Hawkeye's like, yeah, I ain't buying it. I think he came close to accusing Screwdriver running cheater parts and was going to demand he goes into the pit to be checked out by the technical crew.
Hey, I showed the video. I did not get to take the radio out of the truck, though, to put it on the bench like I thought I was going to. I had a Chinese food called my name tonight after I got home.
Oh, man, Chinese food. Well, thank you, Clearwater. How about it, Runt? Runt, you got anything good you'd like to share, Runt, if you're still in there?
I was enjoying a bowl of ice cream, but I had an old Escort back in the day with a 102-inch whip during the ice storm of I-98, if I remember correctly. Needless to say, I hit a power line. It fried the radio, the wiring harness, and to top it off, me and a couple buddies thought we'd be smart and flip the car over. Well, they slipped. The car ended up running again.
Holy shit, you hit a down power line with your 102-inch whip? It must have been like the Green Mile inside your car.
Oh, it was a spark show. I don't remember exactly what ended up frying, but I ended up replacing the wiring harness.
The flux capacitor, that's like, what is it, Back to the Future 2, where they got to use the hook?
Runt went Back to the Future. What was that? Holy smokestack!
It's usually an oh shit moment.
I got lucky. I'll own that.
Oh my god, the Philadelphia experiment. I love the references you come up with. I remember that too. The guy was half in the hall and half out of the hall.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus. No, Steel Toe went to bed. Well, we got him down there in Portland. No, all right. 323. You still listening? How about Maniac? I'm sure Maniac's got some doozies. Maniac, you still in there?
Oh, you're betting 1,000.
I guess so. Tasman, how about Tasman? We'll give Tasman a try. Is he still in there?
Oh, I'm still in here.
You got any CB radio calamities you'd like to share?
One, I guess. There's been friends of hers that were, they were lesbians, and they thought that CB radio was, kind of neat.
talking and talking. Like, huh. So I was like, just as I was getting ready, I was like, oh, you better back off that thing for a minute. The power just dropped right out on it. All components went flying, and I grabbed the amp, and, yeah. That was about it. I don't know. Another time I fell asleep, hit the lock button on the mic, and, yeah, that fried a Texas Star Sweet 16.
Oh, man, that's not cheap.
That wasn't too bad. It was only 2 transistors.
Yeah, it's like that Shure CB mic, the desk mic, that if you picked it up, it would transmit. It had that switch on.
Not a static Echo Max mic anymore after that. Too easy.
Copy that. Travis, Striker all the way. Strikers are the loudest radio. All right. Well, I think we've got everyone. Is there anyone else that's got anything else they want to add, or they got another good one, or whatever? But kind of went through everybody. We can still shoot the bull on here or whatever. But anyone else want to talk? Go ahead.
Hey, Wingnut checking in.
Andy and Wyndham, just checking in a little late. Sorry about that.
Hey, no problem. All right, we got Wingnut. I heard you, no problem. And we got Andy. All right. Well, real quick, while we got Wingnut in there, Wingnut, you got any disasters you'd like to share with everybody?
I remember I was like 16 years old, and I got my hands on a PDL-2, and I was going to put it up, and it, with like a rope, or could have been an extension cord, or whatever I could get my hands on at the time. And I got it almost up there, and whatever knot that I had came apart, and it just went crashing to the ground and broke one of the hubs on it. And yeah, I was pretty disappointed in myself.
Yeah, especially when you're young like that. I mean, and you have very, very limited resources, and it always sucks to break equipment, when you don't have any source of an income. Hey, Andy, you got any CB radio disasters you'd like to share if you're still hanging out there, Andy?
No, sorry, I haven't had any disasters. Sorry, no, I don't.
All right, well, we thought we'd do that. Oh, man, I remember one time I bought an old boat anchor radio. It was an old military radio, and the thing must have weighed about, well, Lugnut will know what I'm talking about. Lugnut might have been there when it happened. I bought an was it the 391? No, the R392. It was a receiver. The thing must have weighed about, like 70 pounds, and I had it on the tail. I thought it was balanced, and these old military radios, they have like fingers or fins on the front to protect all the knobs, so if they get hit. Well, I dropped that thing, and the fins hit me in the shin. It went all the way down my shin. And the damn thing would have broke my foot, but my shin slowed the descent down, which tore my shin all to shreds.
How'd the radio survive?
Oh, it was fine. I dug the dirt out of the front of it. It was big. Yeah, it was fine. But yeah, it took some meat off my shin. Yeah, it hit my shin at a 45, all the way down my shin.
That receiver weighs about 80 pounds.
I couldn't remember what it weighed, foot. And I was wearing like a light sneaker, so it wasn't like I was wearing a boot or anything when it landed.
I've never done that, but man, that would hurt. You got lucky.
Yeah, I thought maybe Chrome Dome was there. It was down at Nearfest. I don't remember who was standing there when I did it, and everyone was like, "Oh!" And
I had a Varmint 1000 tube amp, and I blew the end of my fingertip right off, and they had to stitch it back together. Even though it was that 700 or 800 volts, when it goes from your elbow to out your finger, the end of your finger looks like a hot dog that was cooked a little too long. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you short out the tubes. You know, normally it wasn't a big deal because I would unplug it for like days before I touch it, but I was like, oh, it's been like 15, 20 minutes. I was young, dumb, and yeah, not great. I definitely should have shorted up.
Hey, you ain't alone, man. I did it with 2,000 volts a few months ago.
Uh-oh.
I think Wolfie did the same thing with a vomit 1000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Sent him flying across the room. He said his arm was numb for like 3 days. I think it knocked him out.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, well, that's why, you know, playing with a bigger tube amp, you know, even something with like 500 Z's into that 3,000, 3,500 volts, let alone these bigger amps that are up around like 8,000 volts to almost 10,000, it'll fucking kill you. It definitely made me rethink the fact that I have probably only opened 2 tube amps since then in the last 25 years.
It's kind of funny at work, you know, a lot of like modern electronics. I mean, yes, there's obviously stuff out there with dangerous voltages, it can kill you. But a lot of the stuff now is the voltages are a lot less lethal. And I was actually helping a technician the other day troubleshoot something, and I had one hand behind my back, and they were laughing at me because I was looking into the chassis of this. It's a piece of equipment used for endoscopies in hospitals, and there was an issue with the circuit that takes the picture. And they were laughing at me because I had one hand behind my back, and I said, that's just an old habit. Skywalker, do you know why you put one hand in your pocket or behind your back?
Just before I get to draw my weapon at somebody that wants to kill me.
Well, no, when you're troubleshooting electronics and you put both hands inside the cabinet, you complete the circuit on tube equipment as you put one hand in your pocket. Day.
Well, lesson learned. Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about that, but yeah, that totally makes sense, Rio, man.
Yeah, in a lot of industrial, if you're going to reach into a live electrical cabinet, even just to use a meter, because at least then if it, you know, completes the circuit, you're only losing a hand. You're not going in a car. Oh, I got a 30 cal suit, but yeah, you definitely do have to, in the way you work, you are supposed to. Obviously, type of work that Radio Man does and he's talking about, you ain't going to put on these big fucking gloves, but you know, yeah, I do, and obviously, you know, Wingnut, he's going to be wearing some pretty decent gloves to not feel the tingle.
Roger. Up to your elbow, perhaps?
Oh, the gloves go up to your elbow, and then you've got sleeves that go up to your shoulder.
Okay, yep. Yep.
Long sleeve, F-bar clothes, and it doesn't matter how hot it is out, you gotta wear it.
Right, yep, safety first.
Shake hands with danger. Yeah, most of the stuff that I work on, you know, we're talking SMT components. I mean, we have a couple things like that are high, would be considered high voltage that we have procedures for, but most everything we're working on is, you know, it's not that, it's not, but I just still have my own personal practices where I'm much more careful than probably some people because I have, you know, I have some equipment here. For younger days, put both hands on a cabinet, and it was like a leaky chassis, and there was only like 60 volts, but it was enough to, you know, get, yeah. But I still have, I mean, I'm on a tube amp right now. I'm running 2 572Bs, so I still have tube amps here. So matter of fact, I had my hands inside this one before I got it going.
And I grabbed a hold of the mast plate, and it felt just like sticking my finger in a wall socket. Sure enough, I was getting lit up. I had a leaky cap or something in the control box. I unplugged the rotor control box from the wall, and I was fine after
Ghost
that.
Rider, oh yeah. Steel tubes?
Well, I mean, some people out here actually saw me get lit up off of the back of a CPI 2000 a couple of years ago on an old radio night. Wasn't working right, and I was fucking around on the back and the power cord, whatever, something shorted out, and I got a hell of a tingle off from that fucker.
Getting an awful lot of noise tonight. I can't hardly hear anybody, but I can hear you. And 10-4. Well, it's getting quieter. Of course, it does after as the night goes on, but.
Bob, what are you running? That SB, whatever it is, 200?
Yes, I'm on the SB 200.
Did you have to play with the tuned in?
Yeah, I had to touch it up a little bit to get it. It just wasn't quite happy, so I had to pop the cover.
I figured that would happen.
That's the loudest I've heard lug nut. Did you make some changes? Roger.
Yeah, Hawkeye says he's hearing you pretty good tonight there, Lugnut. Hawkeye over in Lisbon. Go ahead, Hawkeye.
Yeah, what a lug nut. Can you hear? I'm just running barefoot over here. You got a copy on me?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm on a different radio than I normally would run because my other radio won't come down here.
Hold on. I'll have to look it up.
I'm a little curious about the 2,000 volts there.
What about the 2,000 volts? Most of the amplifiers that I run 2,000, 3,000, 4,500, whatever. This one's running 2,800 right now.
So that's what you were doing? You were poking around inside an amp?
Nope. The amp was derived of two, and they're just two separate units, and there's a 5 kilovolt wire that goes between A and B. It's just like Bob said, should have kept my left hand behind my back. You know, didn't wait enough time for him to bleed. And the capacitors were the size of a small lunchbox.
10 bands. See that, Phil? 10 bands.
Stories like that, I gotta tell you, I totally backed the. Well, I've got a tube amp here, but I refuse to go inside of it. I've been bit too many times with 220. Just the power lines themselves. I don't want to get.
You just gotta make yourself a short and sit across your plate caps, and it discharges the capacitor. You'll see the big snap that comes out of it, and then it's safe to go in.
Still didn't do it, so if somebody like you who works on this stuff all the time gets bit, you know, you're probably damn lucky to be alive.
Oh, it's just a little tingle. He's fine.
Yes, to get it onto the CD band,
No, because
you have to do a jumper on the board.
I only had one arm involved.
It's not hard.
You know, it would have been my fourth and go through my heart, or something like that. But I mean, that ain't the first time. Just shit, the way it is. Happens on old gear, man. It was my fault for not discharging the damn thing. I remembered quickly after I did it, and amp's out in the garage, runs like a champ. Gonna bring it up to camp when the snow melts. And Stick a FT101 on the ass end of it.
Oh, now you're talking. Tube driving tube. We love it.
This one's actually pretty cool. It's a pair of 813s. And you drive 20 watts in, you get 200 watts out.
Lugnut, what was that amp that I think it was actually a transmitter that you bought down at Nearfest, and the guy kind of didn't really know what it was, but you knew what it was. I almost want to say it was 813s. You remember that a couple years ago?
It was that 813 amplifier.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was wondering. I said, geez, I wonder if it's that amplifier he picked up down at Nearfest.
Yeah, it was. It was my project this winter to rebuild it and get it back to life again. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. 813s.
All right, hang on. Breaker. Oh, man, I just wanted to hear your voice one more time. Man, it is good hearing you out here again, sir.
They're not bad. They're great radios. If you're not going to get it on that Radiodity. They do everything that the Radiodities do. I'm not saying the Radiodities are bad. They sound very good.
Great.
But the Striker does all that, but they got some loud audio. Like, my radio's stock. I didn't do a damn thing to it other than the mod to get on 11 meters.
I mean, I'm actually surprised. You're hammering up here.
Wow.
I sent you the picture of the antenna.
Hegley, the guy with we have a lineman
I
here.
know. Being that close
Hey,
to the building
Brian.
and no mass pipe under it, that's
Checking
that is pretty
in. All
impressive.
right, Brian. You're local, if I remember correctly, right? What's your handle? You got a radio? Oh, you're Sparkplug, aren't you? I think.
Like
Sorry, I'm
whatever
like talking
six-story building is, that's
Facebook,
just,
I'm talking to TikTok.
one level right there,
Got
it looks
CB
like.
going. Phil over on TikTok. Oh no, so you're not Sparkplug, you're Shorty. Shorty, yes, Shorty. Sorry, Shorty on Facebook. You won't be disappointed with the Striker. So they have a version 3. This is the version 2.
You could probably get it
if
up
you
high
buy
enough to
one
be on
used,
top
don't
of
get the
that
version 1.
building
Get the
ledge
version
right
2.
there and keep it tucked on
They
the
came
corner,
out with
nobody
version
would notice.
3, and they made some improvements in the radios to make them
All
more easy to
right,
install
I like it,
mobile.
Jim. It's awesome to have you out
Sorry.
here. Hi, one more time. And good evening, Mr. Pipeline. I heard.
I feel like I've talked to you before. I'm sorry, I talked to a lot of people, and it's no disrespect.
Oh, not a
I
whole lot. Just listening
sound
to some
familiar.
story time, seeing what kind of damage we've all done.
Yes, I would absolutely if you buy a used one, make sure you don't get the version 1, because the version 2 has a lot of great features like the NRC,
nobody really came
the
up with
noise
an antenna
gate.
story, because I know some antennas I've seen come crashing down.
What else?
I actually did have an Antron that was struck by lightning years ago and it splintered like toothpicks, but yeah, you know, I've seen some antennas and towers come crashing down.
Oh, this has the switchable band filters.
Nobody had a story.
Version 2.
Oh, let's hear it, B. Let's
Okay,
hear
you're in
that
Georgia.
story.
All right, but I've seen you. Okay, all right. I reckon should be getting a report on it pretty soon. So they shortened it up. I don't think they made any like drastic changes.
Oh,
all right,
man.
Sorry, Shorty. I'll get to you in just a second.
Super scanner come crashing down.
How come you're not on the radio, Shorty?
Trying to stand that up on a 22-foot piece of pipe by my fucking self.
Yes, the version 3, look on the Striker Radio's website, you can read about it.
Oh, I definitely heard you. Oh, I didn't hear you say they yanked on it. Like, they yanked on it like they were trying to take it down, or were they trying to help you put it up? I mean, I remember you back then, so I assume probably the first and not the latter.
That's BB and Carthage. That's a long-ass haul for me. If I put it on the beam,
man.
maybe I can hear him a little better.
That is shitty right there. 'Cause, yeah,
Just swing the
chimneys are
antenna
not
to the
cheap.
north. I'm considering buying a version 3 Striker right now.
I like it. You're the first one to say anything about an antenna.
Sorry to you guys trying to listen to the radio. I'm talking over the radio. Sorry.
Obviously, I've been part of. All right, let's hear it. Oh man, that's why we're not allowed to have aluminum antennas anymore. Because you hit an electrical line with it, see?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Striker's a great
We'll
radio.
get quiet real quick.
But don't get me wrong, I don't think the radio oddities are bad. I just think if people really like that big CB sound, the loud cranking audio, these are the radios to get.
That's why I never ran a K40.
Look, he's visiting with family, but he wanted to say hi. He's listening to us tonight.
Well, I guess I could be a jerk and say, it's the best I ever heard you.
Nice.
So Chapo, I would look at the
So
Wilson.
for next week, Radio Man.
Oh, hold on.
I
I'm
got
being paged.
another. I love the fact that we're still hearing people out here telling some stories, but I think the next topic. I don't know if you have a topic for next week, but do we have a discussion topic that you know of?
No, I haven't heard anything.
One second. So I'm thinking, maybe we go. I kind of want to hear stories of, how you got your handle, or if you've had more than one handle. Because I know there's some interesting stories. Obviously, some people just pick stories. This is actually my second handle, well, technically third handle that I've ever had. My first one only lasted a month on the radio, and then I was told it was being used. But, some people have interesting stories for how they got the handle or how many handles they've had over the years. Like I said, some of it's just a random pick, but I feel like that could be something that keeps people going for another conversation, another evening.
Yeah, but not everybody's got three handles, Greg, Bob, Screwdriver. We just call you GBS for short.
Exactly. I've got three handles. You are not wrong.
I'll get to you in just a second, Chapo. Hold
Some
on, I'm
people
sorry.
use all three handles.
Hey, is Pipeline still out there? All right, I hope that this doesn't offend anybody, but I got a 10.5 from Shorty on the internet. Sorry, Pipeline. Boy, I'm glad I didn't say that because you would have been like, what the hell? All right, fix it. I got a 10.5 from Shorty. He says to shut the hell up. And good evening to receive that 10.5.
Yeah, but he's the one that shut up, not me.
No, I'm going with he said it to Pipeline. That's it. He's not here to defend himself. He's all over. Oh, Shorty's not, though. He was giving you shit. That's what we're going with, Pipeline.
What's the best barefoot CB? Question.
No, he's on Radio Man's Live. He's at some relative's house or something right now. So he's just watching.
Let me mute the radio so I can answer Chapo's question. Chapo, for antennas, the best thing you can do is you got to put it up on the center of the roof of your vehicle. A lot of people don't like that, but the reality is that when you put the antenna below the body line of the vehicle, you're just cutting off potential range. So up on the center of the roof of the vehicle, I would look at a Wilson one antenna that Stryker makes that well, they might make a trucker antenna, but it's a base loaded antenna. It's about 5 feet long. And that's the other thing when people look at CB antennas is they go and get the shortest antenna. The problem is with CBs, if you're buying an antenna and it's like 4 feet, you're just severely compromising range. Former antennas are really good. I would also, someone was asking me some questions. I have a mount out back I just installed. So if you're gonna do a mount body line of the vision pattern, you may want to look at a top loaded antenna like the Fire Stick makes a 5 foot long top loaded antenna. If that's what you're gonna do, I would look at that. It's a 5 foot long, it's top loaded. You're gonna want to stay away from a base load antenna if you're gonna mount your antenna below the roof of the vehicle. If you can deal with the cutoff and range, then that's fine. But just, I run into a lot of people that know me and they're always like, man, how's your radio get out so far? Then you just have to live with having less range. So let me go back to the radio here. Thanks, man. I'll look into that. Yeah, so Fire Stick 5 footer, the Wilson antennas, like the Wilson trucker or the Serial trucker antenna. It's a center loaded base. You're gonna want to try to get that base above the roof of the vehicle if you're gonna go that route. Okay. Feel free to send me messages on TikTok if you got questions. I don't have any problems talking about radio stuff. I'm gonna go back to the radio.
About that Robin Hood, you still out there?
Hey, cowboy, how you doing?
Wondering where they were last night. I didn't hear anybody on. I was on the radio for almost an hour, and I heard no communications down that way. He's outside smoking a butt. See how he is? No, I don't know if he is or not.
Supposedly those guys in York County they're trying to get Channel 30 going.
Yeah, and I talked to them last week on Wednesday, last night, Wednesday on Channel 30, and there was some skipping there, I'm not gonna lie. It was still a little noisy, but there was definitely some dead sections, and I yelled, a little surprised, actually.
That's it, Rob. And we had a mobile truck down.
Oh yeah, I got both of you guys too. Oh yeah, I got both of you guys too.
Just updating the roll call list in case anyone's wondering. Just updating the roll call list in case anyone's wondering.
Oh no.
Oh man, it's not quality audio, he says. Bummer, dude. I mean, it is actually better than I normally hear them. It is loud. I actually don't think it's bad quality. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like superb, but it sounds like standard quality. I mean, I can understand them. Yeah, I mean, I thought about like injecting this thing. My striker with the AC mod does have us and put it in a different radio and fuck around with it, but they're not. They look all right. I just haven't heard one on the air to tell if it's actually loud. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing, and they look like they are doing some of it right in potential, but some of it I can't tell. I don't have anything bad to say about them. I don't have any experience, but I definitely see some fanboys that are local to us here that. I definitely see some fanboys that are local to us here that, yeah, he's just widebanding them and playing with the filters that cut it back and doesn't necessarily have some of the equipment, but whatever, you know, it looks good and it sounds good that I can hear. You know, my biggest problem, I'm going to say they don't sound good, but loud. Like, you know, even like the quad 6s that are out, the QT80s, I know a lot of locals that have them, and they sound phenomenal. They sound great. But are they loud? You know, they don't necessarily compare audio, you know, quantity-wise. Quality is
All
great.
right, guys.
I can get some amazing quality.
I need to shut this down, get ready for bed. So, thanks for everyone for showing up. Down.